Hi guys! Today I want to talk to you about our social responsibility with regards to clothing. I recently watched a film by Andrew Morgan. It's a 2015 documentary called The True Cost. It's on Netflix and I'll leave a link to the website down in the description. We don't always think about it when we're buying a $5 t-shirt, but there has to be something that we're giving up in order to have it at such an affordable price. So this movie kind of explores the consequences of having so many clothes available to us at so low a cost. I'm just going to tell you guys a few of the things that I found really insightful and interesting about the film, and I'm also going to leave you with some tips about how to change the way you perceive clothing and the way that you consume it, because I don't just want to bombard you with a bunch of information and then not leave you with a way to better the situation. So yeah, let's get into it. One of the things that I was completely unaware of before watching this documentary was the idea of something called fast fashion. A couple years ago, there were two fashion seasons: fall/winter collection and the spring/summer collection. Those would have certain trends that went with them, and those would be the trends for the season. What's happened recently is that instead of having just two fashion seasons, different retailers have started having more and more small fashion seasons where there's between 50 and 100 fashion seasons in a year, which means that every week there's a different trend or a different look or a different something coming off the runway. Because there's so many fashion cycles, these clothes need to be made so quickly and so inexpensively so that we can have easy access to them. So think about stores like H&M, Zara, Topshop. These are the places where every week they have new inventory coming in with new styles and new fashion. What this is kind of becoming is disposable fashion. You kind of use them for one event and then think, well, I can't wear it again, to something else, and we get rid of it. Now, one of the effects that this is having is that it's having a huge consequence on the people making the clothes and also the environment. So I'm going to start by talking about the environmental costs. People are buying 80 billion pieces of clothing a year. That is 400% more than it was 2 decades ago. In the States, each person is contributing 82 pounds of clothing to landfills each year. Not only is a lot of the clothing that we use ending up in landfills, but the fibers that we're using to make our clothes are now so genetically modified that you're actually putting different chemicals on your skin every day and we don't even think about it. People are very good at thinking about what they're putting into their bodies, but not so much about what we're putting onto our bodies. Monsanto has developed a genetically modified cotton that supposedly fights off a certain bacteria. Not only that, but they also have specific pesticide from Monsanto for the specific plant. This pesticide that they're using on the plants is terrible. Basically, it's killing the plant slowly. It makes the land unusable after that. And farmers are getting so many different diseases. The health risks are extreme. So that's part of the environmental cost. It's killing our land. It's killing the water from the different chemicals that they put in there. Think about bleaching different fabrics or dyeing different fabrics and all that stuff, and it's just raw chemicals going into different rivers. So the land, the water, the people, everything is being contaminated by the clothing industry. It is the second most polluting industry in the world, coming only second to the oil industry. A lot of you probably heard about the clothing factory collapse in Rana Plaza in 2013. The people who worked there had actually told their bosses that they had seen cracks in the walls and that they didn't feel it was safe and wanted to leave, and they weren't allowed out. These accidents happen more often than you think. Whether it's a fire or some kind of accident, these people's lives are at risk so that you can have cheap clothes. Also, there's no unions for these people. They have essentially no rights. When they talk to their managers or when they talk to the people in charge asking for more money or asking for benefit, they're hit or they're beaten. And I know this is not always the situation, but it does happen, and it's an everyday reality for these people. And there's no air conditioning in these buildings, and they're super crowded, and they work insane hours, and it's just... Recently, the garment workers in Cambodia had had enough and they decided to go on strike. They were asking to get $160 a month. That's all they wanted. They wanted to get $160 a month for the work that they do. And the riot police came and they fired live rounds on these people. That can never be allowed. There's no The regard for human life in that situation is so low, and I know that it seems far away. I think that as people and as citizens of the world, we do need to be considerate of those around us, and we do have a social responsibility. Now let's talk about what we can do about it. What you can do is practice slow fashion. Now what slow fashion is it's a movement that was created in opposition to fast fashion. It calls you to think about where your clothes are coming from. It calls you to think about what your clothes are made out of. Are they made out of organic cotton? Are they made out of fibers that are sustainable and resources that we're not running out of or depleting at a much too fast of a rate? Try your best to not shop at clothing stores where they do fast fashion. These stores are so concerned with being able to turn out the newest fashion so quickly and so cheaply that, first of all, the stuff you're buying is made really poorly and it's not going to last. It's going to end up in a landfill. Second of all, the people making them are not being treated well. They are not getting paid enough. Thirdly, it is destroying the environment. Water is polluted, the land is deteriorating, and it's just not a good situation. So do your best. Do some research. On the website for the film, there are some clothing stores or clothing manufacturers who are trying to make clothes ethically and sustainably, and try your best to find clothes like that. If that's too much of a hassle, and I totally understand if it is, go to a thrift store. That way, you're not directly feeding into the cycle, you're not directly feeding into these corporations who are not treating their workers fairly. Think about what you really do need, and when you need something, don't be afraid to spend a little more to have something that's actually going to last you. Those are just a few things. I'm going to leave links in the description to a couple of videos that you might find helpful and a couple websites that might help you out with this. I know this isn't the most uplifting video, I know it's not funny, I know that it's not trendy, I know that it's not cool, but I think that it's important. If you have a chance, check out the documentary. It's much better than me rambling at you. Check it out and think about what's in your closet and where it comes from and the true cost of your clothes. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.